Welcome back, everyone. I hope you had good time downstairs, networking, talking, connecting. I hope maybe you have also already seen some illustrations from Caroline displayed outside. But if you haven't, maybe Caroline can show us what we have seen in the first panel, Resilient Consumer. I can see transparency, ethics, policy, all important topics. Let me have a look here a bit closer. What I like most, I think, is like it's written, let's say good stories about insurance. I think that's something also like from communication side, I think, we'll tick the box with that. And I think it's good future for insurance waiting for us. So nice. Thank you, Caroline. And to open afternoon sessions, we will hear again a video from Brussels again. Aurore Lalucq, member of the European Parliament and Econ Chair, has a message for us, and she will share her perspective on the role and journey of EIOPA. Please direct your attention to the screen. Thank you.
President, Executive Director, ladies and gentlemen, 15 years ago, EIOPA was created because Europe learned something the hard way. When finance is poorly supervised, citizens pay the price. 15 years later, the risks have changed, but the stakes have only grown. Climate shocks, technological disruption, geopolitical fractures, speculative finance, all converging. And yet, too often, when left on their own, markets behave as if none of this matters. This is why EIOPA is not just a financial regulatory agency, it is one of the pillars of Europe's economic and social stability. Since its creation, and together with national competent authorities, significant progress has been achieved in the field of pension, insurance, and long-term investment more broadly. It keeps our money safe, making sure insurance companies and pension funds are financially sound and can pay out when we need them. It protects us as consumers from misleading products, unfair contracts, or companies taking unnecessary risk with our savings. It helps the whole EU system stay stable by spotting early warnings so crises don't spread. EIOPA has also developed very strong cooperation with the EU legislator, including the European Parliament and, of course, the Committee on Economic and Monetary Affairs, ensuring full accountability and engaging closely with us to support our work. I know that we also share a common assessment of the future challenges that financial services, including long-term investment, are already facing and will continue to face in the coming years. First, no one can any longer ignore the change in the global economic and geopolitical paradigm. The return of Donald Trump to the White House may have an impact on global financial rules, but financial stability is not for sale. I therefore urge all of us to refrain from opening a Pandora box by awakening requirements that exist to protect us in times of trouble. Recent trends already show clear signs of rising uncertainty. Second, we cannot avoid engaging in a serious discussion about risk. And the largest risk of all is climate risk. Let me be very clear. Climate risk is not abstract. It is not a distant future threat. It is already affecting people today. When floods destroy homes that can no longer be insured, when droughts hit farmers and drive up food prices, when pension funds lose value because assets become stranded. It is always the same people who suffer, consumer and savers. A house that cannot be insured is a house that cannot be financed. A pension exposed to climate shock is a pension that becomes uncertain. Those who claim that climate rules are a burden are really saying we prefer to hide the risk rather than manage it. That is not freedom, that is irresponsibility. I could not agree more with the words of the EIOPA chair last year who said that this is the biggest risk facing society. And this is why EIOPA's work on climate stress test, sustainability risk, and long-term resilience is not optional. It is central to protecting Europeans. Third, technology must not come at the expense of solidarity. Artificial intelligence and hyper-personalized insurance may seem exciting, and I do believe in the opportunities created by innovation. But insurance exists to share risk. If everyone is priced perfectly, the most vulnerable become uninsurable. Insurance then ceases to be a public good. EIOPA's role is to ensure that digitalization strengthens rather than undermines solidarity, fairness, and access. I must also warn against what is presented as innovation, but in reality creates major risk for the financial system instead of financing real economic progress. Around 10% of European households have invested in crypto assets, driven by aggressive marketing. These products are volatile, energy-intensive, disconnected from the real economy, and prone to speculation. We need to do more to protect consumers in a largely unguaranteed crypto market. At the same time, this clearly shows that there is an appetite to invest in Europe. Our responsibility is to provide the right guidance and incentives to direct that investment towards European and productive assets. This brings me to two areas where I believe we can improve the current situation relatively quickly. First, consumer protection. Insurance, pension, and retail investment products have never been more complex. Algorithm, cross-border platform, and digital distribution create opportunities for sure, but also new forms of abuse. EIOPA's role is clear: to ensure that Europeans are not trapped in opaque products, missold investment, or predatory pricing. Consumer protection is not a side mission. It is what gives people confidence to invest, trust the system, and to keep their saving in Europe. Second, long-term saving must finance Europe. Europeans are savers, yet around 30% of their savings flow outside Europe, as you know, instead of supporting our industrial priorities, instead of financing our defense, instead of financing the climate transition. Initiatives such as the European Investment Label, launched last year by 7 member states, matter. They send a clear signal to savers: your money is financing Europe's future. EIOPA plays a key role in ensuring that these products are transparent, credible, and aligned with Europe's long-term interest. EIOPA was not created to make market comfortable. It was created to make Europe safer. 15 years on, its mission is more relevant than ever: to protect consumers, to force finance to confront climate reality, and to ensure that Europe's savings work for Europe. Thank you.
So thank you to Aurore for making these important reflections, especially about the risks that we are facing. And what struck me, or the message that stood out here, is that when she said, EIOPA has not been created to make markets comfortable, but to make Europe safe.